I'm going to run through what I have on my boat. I like to prepare for what ifs. Like the other day when I was out fishing and I was doing a video and the steering cable snapped when I was 10 mile away from port. Now, it's not the end of the world so long as you prepare for things. There are certain pieces of safety equipment on a boat that I think everybody should have no matter what. It doesn't matter where you're going. One of those being like a life jacket. Second of those being a VHF. The very least you should have if you're going out on a boat is a little handheld VHF. I also have in this forward locker a few other things that I think are good things to have on board a small boat. Now, I usually have a spare life jacket in there, but at the moment my good wife's wearing the other one. You can see in here I have a spare anchor rope and a spare anchor. Not only does that double up because I have, at the moment I'm using a plough anchor because I'm anchored up in the sand and mud, but I have a grapple anchor for rough ground. That also doubles up that if I ever lose it and I'm in trouble, I've got a second one straight away. Things that you should always be prepared to do is if you're ever in trouble, say for instance, if the engine dies off or if your steering goes or anything like that, to give yourself some spare time or for waiting for someone to come and help or for you to solve the problem, throw the anchor over the side. Once you're anchored up and you're not going anywhere, you're not generally in any danger, are you? Unless you're in a busy shipping lane, when I would use your best judgment, but there's always that what if. Also in here I have quite a few short ends, which are just short ends of rope that I use for any little bits of tying up. I have a can of spare fuel. Short ends of rope, you can never have too many, because if somebody breaks down and I need to tow them, right, I've got a rope there straight away with an eye splice on one end that I can just bust the tape off and throw them to. If I need a tow, or if I need a piece of rope to tie me off to an anchor buoy or something like that, you can never have too much rope. This one's got a fender on. I have a couple of 3 or 4 spare fenders in there. If the worst should ever happen, and I know you should never talk about it while you're out on a boat, but if you ever start to sink and you're ever going to have to leave this boat and you don't have a life raft, the best thing you can do is get everything that floats. Getting hold of a load of these will only help you. I have a little first aid box. Now, this, you aren't going to be able to perform surgery with anything like this. It is literally, it's just to put a bandage on something until you get in. What I have inside of this box, it's just your very basics. A little bit of a bandage and some plasters, some sterile wash, some sun cream, some antibacterial cream, some wipes, some plasters and a chapstick. A couple of cotton buds for possibly cleaning something out of your eye or cleaning something out of a wound. And in here I also have, you can see, some seasickness tablets, some ibuprofen, some paracetamols, some antihistamines, just your general stuff. And all this is if anything should happen and I get a hook in me, or I get a cut, or get a burn, or I get anything, get to any type of injury like that, this will make me okay until either help gets here or until I can get just first aid. This is just a patch to just get you to either get you to help or until help gets to you. A good strong thick pair of gloves for if you're ever going to have to haul any ropes or anything like that, or if you're dealing with anything that's sharp. I've also got some waterproofs. There you can see the top and the bottoms. These are waterproof, but not only that, but they're luminous yellow. So if I'm ever stuck somewhere in the fog or something like that, put these on straight away. Not only to keep you dry, but you'll be seen from a mile off. And how thin and how light are they take up no space at all. The next thing in here is I have a pair of these. Now I actually picked these up off eBay, but they are extendable. These are great. Cost me a couple of quid. And if you're ever stuck, if your engine ever won't start, or for anything, if you're close manoeuvring when you don't want to start the engine, or if it's too shallow to put the prop down, they're perfect. Pull straight out, quick paddle, and you're there. Now, I do have a couple of big coils of rope Now there's 35 metres in there, so that is another whole anchor rope on top of that one. So no matter where I am, I can put my anchor down. The last thing that I've got in there, and it's right down at the bottom, I'm not going to dig it all the way out, it's just a little tool bag. And all it's got in it is it's just got a posi drive screwdriver, a flathead screwdriver and 2 adjustable spanners. There aren't many jobs on a boat that you can't do with those things. And all I have, like I say, it's all just packed away in there. Now, to look at what I've got down here just behind the helm. There you can see, look, just down behind the helm, I've got a coastal flare pack. They're all tucked away tightly in there. And I've got a little fire extinguisher. Now, it isn't law that you have to have them, but if you can get them, fantastic. I'll talk to you a little bit now about a VHF. If you have a VHF, it's better if you do a VHF course. They don't cost very much, and it will teach you the proper way to use this, the proper way to speak on it, and also the proper way to answer somebody. So if somebody else is in trouble, you'll know how to help them out. Don't get me wrong, if you haven't got the course and you don't know how to do it exactly textbook, if you're ever in trouble, they won't chastise you for doing your best, but it is always better to know. Now, this one of mine that I've got here, it's very simple. Once you switch it on, this one's preset for channel 16. Channel 16 is your calling and your Coast Guard or your safety channel. I've always got mine on here listening out unless I'm going to talk to somebody else. On the side there you will see there is a button that says PTT, which is press to talk, and all you'll do is you'll press in and hold it, and you will say who you are calling 3 times, then this is and your name 3 times, and say for instance, we'll try this now. Falmouth Coast Guard, Falmouth Coast Guard, Falmouth Coast Guard. This is Ferrell Fisher, Ferrell Fisher, Ferrell Fisher. Radio check, over.
Okay, so you can readable.
Loud and readable, thank you. Out. That was how simple it is. You press to talk and then you let go. When you want a reply from someone, so when you are asking a question, you say over. Over means I would like a reply. When you have finished speaking and you don't need a reply, you say out. So even though you see in the films, and this really grates me when people go over and out, that's not how you say it. When you want a reply from somebody, you say over, and when you are finished speaking and you do not need a reply, you say out. So you say, like there for instance, the local Coast Guard is Falmouth Coast Guard, so I would say Falmouth Coast Guard, Falmouth Coast Guard, Falmouth Coast Guard. This is, my boat is called Ferrell Fisher, so I'll say Ferrell Fisher, Ferrell Fisher, Ferrell Fisher. And I wanted a radio check, so you'll say radio check, over, which means I would like a reply. He came straight back with loud and readable. That means that he gets me and he understands me. I heard him and understood him, so I said loud and readable, also out, which means I don't need a reply. That's it. That's how simple the conversation is. If you were ever in trouble and you are sinking, or if you are in serious danger, or someone was really hurt and you need help immediately, that is the time when you can do a mayday. In that case, you say mayday, 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 and if you have a GPS, give your GPS coordinates, explain what's going on, say sinking, fire, whatever it is, someone will get back to you. It doesn't necessarily, it might not be the Coast Guard because they might not be able, they might not be in range, they might not hear you, but another vessel will answer you. If all you have, say for instance like the other day when my steering cable went, that isn't a mayday. Because I wasn't sinking, because I wasn't in immediate danger, because I wasn't going to die, it's not a mayday. It would either be a pan, which means I'm in trouble and I need some help, but I'm okay. Or if you are in a danger to other shipping, so say for instance if you've broken down and you're in a shipping lane, or if you spot something that is a danger to other ships, like a half sunken container or a load of floating net and rope or something like that, it can be security. So instead of saying mayday, you would say pan, meaning I'm in trouble and I need some help, but it's not an emergency. or if it's a danger to other shipping, you'd say security. So security, security, security. And it's a general warning, and someone will get back to you, and then all you'll have to do is you'll give them the information. So you'll say, like, at the moment, you could say, oh yes, 2.4 miles off Falmouth Bay, and there is a boat in trouble with lots of smoke and a guy waving at me. The guy who you can see might not have a radio, or the Coast Guard will usually get back to you and just say, what is your position? And you'll keep speaking to him. It's all very simple. You just, the big thing that I'm trying to get across is, do not panic. It's all alright. As long as you can keep your head about you, there isn't much you can't deal with. As I was saying about the VHF and the VHF course, there are a couple of other courses that I would possibly suggest. You don't necessarily need them by law to have a boat. It's not like driving a car on the road where you need a driver's license. But one of the best ones that I would recommend would possibly be a powerboat level 2. You can go higher and you get your offshore yacht masters or your skipper's tickets and things like that. But I would say the bare minimum is an RYA, which is Royal Yachting Association, and it's a powerboat level 2. What that is it will teach you your basics of your engine, starting and stopping, basics of shooting an anchor, so a few knots, coming alongside somewhere, steering, how to pick up a man overboard, that type of thing. It's the very basics of boating and seamanship. They aren't expensive. I'm not going to tell you how much they are because they're going to be different prices around the country. But if you contact your local yachting club or contact the local, if you Google it, I was going to say contact your local Coast Guard or contact your lifeboat, but there will be places online where you can find it straight away, and there will always be centres. You can do as much survival as you want. It's always better to have it, but the bare minimum I would say would be that powerboat level 2.